Don't always rush things. Take each day at a time. Don't rush things. There's no hurry always. Read situations, read yourself, know yourself, and take each step at a time. Yeah, man. Alfred once again, and I'm back. As you heard, today's topic is take each day at a time. Basically mean that you don't always have to rush things. Put in mind that some things, or most things that are worth getting or worth achieving, right, take a long time, right? Now, you can't really rush things that are good for you, right? Or you cannot even force things. Now, there's a lot of young men out there, right, who are always in a rush to get things right, to get to a certain place, to get to a certain destination, achieve things, Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, right, we all are ambitious at times, but we should not let or allow our ambition to blind us, right, blur our vision, right, because sometimes we want to get to a place when we're not even ready for that place. That's what happens if we're rushing things. Don't feel pressured to succeed, to achieve, right? Times you need to look at your own situation, who you are, where you at, right? What you have. You'll find that there's some things that you will not be able to get. There are also some things that there are some places you won't be able to be without actually working on some things. Yeah, you might look at your peers, and that's the main problem right there, that we tend to look at our peers, our friends, subordinates, they have this, they have that. Yeah, it's good. Sometimes you want to compete, or you just also have desire. You will have that desire, right, to have things, to achieve things. But the thing is, you make sure that the things that you want to achieve are the things that you really desire for you. It's the desire or that wanting of things are not because you see someone else having it, or someone has or possess certain achievement, or possess certain things, and you want it. Now that's more like greed and lust, right? Make sure that things you want, even if you desire something, does it fit into your own lifestyle? Will it add value to you? Otherwise, what you'll be doing is now just accumulating things, or just want to achieve things just for the sake of it, and then you'll be pressured to do that, even though it will go against your own mental health at times, your own physical health, right? So don't feel pressured always to be the best or the most the best at something, right? Especially when the time's not there. Take time to study, to develop. You see, many people don't understand that this thing called development, it takes time. You develop into a man, especially when you're a kid. You may develop into a teenager, right? Into a young man, adolescent stage, into a young man, and then an adult, and then an adult. All those are stages. Do you know what stage you are at? And then another trapping would be that should not look at exceptions. You see, what the media does, or what society does, they'll dangle exceptions, right? That by 23, Mark Zuckerberg was a billionaire, or 24, whatever young age. Now, once we in that age, right, we think that because Mark Zuckerberg, or whoever that could be in Forbes or whatever, because he's that young, we are supposed to also be the same. I mean, we're supposed to achieve the same thing as Mark Zuckerberg. Those are exceptions. Majority of millionaires, billionaires, and things like that, they're much older. They achieve that status. If that's your goal, right? Nothing wrong with that. But you should know that a majority of rich and wealthy people, especially those who have not inherited their wealth, right? Those who've worked hard for them. Majority of them, it's probably 70, 80% of them got their wealth when they were much older, right? 40s, 50s, late 30s, 40s is when they become millionaires, and that's the majority, not the exception. The exception is 20s, 19s. I know with this YouTube wealth and all that, people are getting money when they're young and younger, but still, a lot of it is because, right, there are certain traits they have. You may not have that trait. There's certain achievement that they have, knowledge that they have. You may not have that knowledge. That knowledge may come to you, but you may not understand it. You may take time for you to understand it, right? So, take time to develop to who you want to be. Don't rush, right? Take each day at a time. Read yourself, know where you're going, know what you want from life, right? And know that at times things will take a very, very long time. Whether you have to develop mentally, you have to develop physically, financially. Those are one of those three pillars that are very important for men right now: physically, mentally, and financially, right? Socially, obviously, and obviously you also want your relationships to be good, but each one of those things will take time. Make sure that each day you're doing something, right? But you're not rushing. Because at times if you rush things, right, for example, maybe a lot of young men, right, want to rush to be wealthy, want to be rich, but in the expense of what? Your health, right? Your mental health, your physical health. So this is why you have sometimes look back, take a step back, look at exactly what it is that is important at that moment in life. Remember, some people who get wealthy, right, they sacrifice their own health. So they get wealthy, they get rich, but at the end of the day, all their money goes back to paying the hospital bills, medical bills. Do you want that? Right? You want to hustle such that you, in the expense of your health, especially your mental health. At least your physical health, though it might decline, at least you can just go and hit the gym, even though it might not be that easy. It's still not easy hitting the gym and getting your physical right. So you don't want to neglect these things, right? Because all you're thinking about is the grind, all you're thinking about is money, finances. Like I said, all that is important. It's important to every man to get their money right, to get their physique right, to get their mental right. But you can't rush those processes. When the time comes, especially if you're alone, you're doing it alone. It's tough. I had to do it alone. One of the toughest things, right? Getting my physical right, but basically getting my mental right? No psychologist, no psychiatrist, no counselor, right? I had to go dig into the YouTubes, read articles about mental health, physical health, and shit like that. It's tough. No one's gonna hand you that knowledge. So So it means that you still have to digest the knowledge. Something you may read and you can only understand it maybe a week after, months, years after. Then you realize, oh, okay, that article meant this, or I had to do this. If you're on a grind, maybe with your physical, you're trying to train, some things you may miss out, like the basics. You may not get the basics, right? You go straight to try and lift heavy, forgetting that you need to start light, right? So taking each day, taking a step back, it's a process. Development, self-improvement, self-development, that's a process. It takes years, and it's never, you're not competing. You don't have to compete for development. Some will get there faster, right? Some will get there slower. That's what development is about, right? However, the main thing is that you are moving. You're moving forward. You're moving towards what you want to do, right? Whether you get there first or you're last, the main thing is that you're moving towards that. And that's the journey itself, because the lessons that you're going to learn, what are you learning, right? Because it's just as important as achieving whatever you want to achieve. So don't rush things, man. A lot of men out there just haywire, such that they're going haywire, such that they think that by 25 they have to have a whole lot of things, useless things, a house, a car. Man, by 25 you're not even a young adult, man. You're young, but you're not much of a young adult. You're supposed to be trying things, doing things, right? Like I said, you're supposed to be breaking things, so you make mistakes. By the time you're 35, yeah, but then at 35, you're supposed to be like, now you know what your vision is, what your mental state should be, how your physical should look, your finances. By 35, your finances do not have to be good. However, you have to have a plan on making your finances good. Are you going to be a businessman? Are you going to be what kind of entrepreneur are you going to be? Or are you going to stay employed? Nothing wrong with that, as long as you're paying your money and it's keeping you going. By 35. So stop checking out your peers. Besides, sometimes you look at your peers, man. Some people, they're lucky. They have good family. They come from a good family, right? They've got rich uncles. They just come from a wealthy family. So if you're trying to compete with them, right? You see them with a Altezza car, a brand new BMW, brand new Benz, and then you're like, okay, shit, I don't have these things, right? And then you want that. When the actual case is that it was a present from their aunt, rich aunt. Probably graduation. They graduated from school, they were promised that. Now you want that. Or they were told that if you get a job, you're going to get this car and you'll be going with that to that job with this car. Nothing wrong with that. It's how the rich are. What parents are for, rich parents are for. Don't have now to get angry at them, right? But the thing is, now you're trying to compete with people who are not in your league. Very unhealthy. Know where you are. Nothing wrong with trying to get there, but you have to get there by a process. If you want the same thing, move by a process, your own process. Otherwise you get confused. Trust me, because I've been there. Trying to compete here, trying to compete there, trying to get things that I cannot afford. All that, or you're just trying to rush things. Take each day one step at a time. Sometimes you may have to run, right? That's very true. Especially in business, sometimes you have to move quick. But make sure you're not being rushed. You're not being pressured to do things, necessary things. Never be pressured. Especially if you feel that, no, it's not me. Don't get pressured. Once you're pressured into doing something that you are unwilling, but you do it anyway, you're going to make blunders. And the life, just like chess, right? I'm going to give you this first. If you avoid as much blunders as you can, you're going to create a very, very good life. But mistakes, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. See, mistakes and blunders are different. Blunders are those things that would totally get you off track and probably get you out of society's favor at all, making blunders. They may forgive you for this and that, a few mistakes here and there, but blunders, no. For example, I have a friend that I grew up with, right? Unfortunately, he was in an entanglement of sort. A few months ago, we read in the news that he chopped up his side chick. Chopped her up. Threw some body parts somewhere else, some other region and shit like that. But that's a blunder. He was emotional. He got emotional attached to a side chick. Now, who's going to try and defend him? You chopped up the chick, your side chick, killed her. That's a blunder. Avoid blunders like that. But mistakes, you're going to learn from them and then move on. So take each day step by step. You're going to make mistakes, no doubt. No one goes in life without making mistakes. Learn from those mistakes. Move on. Avoid as much blunders as you can, especially when people pressure you to do things that you do not want or do not need to. It's when you're most likely to create those blunders, and then you move on. I'm gonna stop there. That's my message for today. And it's been your boy Alfred. Till next time, peace.